The opinions expressed on this program are solely those of individual participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of either Spectrum Generations or Time Warner Cable. Mature Lifestyle is made possible by Hollywood Casino. There's no place like Hollywood. And by Knowlton Hewins Roberts Funeral Homes and Cremation Service. Our homes are warm and welcoming, and we take care of you and your family like we would our own. Call us anytime. We are here for you.
Hello and welcome to Mature Lifestyles. Spectrum Generations loves to bring programs that help you live, laugh, and learn, and today is no exception. Look at the background. Look at our wonderful guest. We're here talking to the Executive Director of Pine Tree Society, Ann Marsh. And we'll be talking more about where we are, and maybe you can tell us that, but you do many, many things under the umbrella of Pine Tree Society. Welcome to the show. Could you tell us a little bit about the Pine Tree Society?
And thank you. It's really a privilege to be here, and so nice to meet you,
Thank
Libby.
you, Ann.
Pine Tree Society was incorporated in 1936. So for 76 years now, we've been providing services for children and adults with physical and developmental disabilities here in the state of Maine. We're a statewide agency.
Yes.
And we have 3 program sites. Our corporate offices are in Bath. We have a program center in Scarborough, and then of course here we are at beautiful Pine Tree Camp.
Right, the Pine Tree Camp serves all ages or just
Yes,
adults too?
Well, adults and children.
Adults and children.
We have programming that runs from age 5 all the way up to senior citizens. So.
Oh, that's wonderful. So not just camp, but you have other services that you provide with
Exactly.
people with disabilities. Could
Yes.
you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, sure. We have quite an umbrella of services. We have audiological services. Our audiology department and our 2 audiologists provide audiological evaluations.
Now put that in layman's terms. What does that mean?
If you're hard of hearing, you
Yes.
come on down to Bath and
Okay.
see us, and we'll give you an evaluation, tell you if you need the assistance of a hearing aid, and we also provide hearing aid services. So we can fit you with a
So there are
hearing
many
aid.
people challenged with hearing
Yes.
issues, and you can help with that problem.
Absolutely, and once again, this is something from, you know, some of our clients are very, very young children to people who are well over 100 years old.
And can anyone take advantage of this wonderful service about hearing, for example?
Oh yes, certainly.
Yes.
I think our clientele, this is based in our Bath office, but our clientele really at this point stretches from Rockland all the way down to Freeport, Yarmouth.
Goodness,
so
you
we
have
cover
a wide area.
Yes,
Right.
yeah.
So people could contact you directly?
Absolutely, they could call our office in Bath and arrange for an appointment.
And if they forget that number, Spectrum Generations is a wonderful referring agency. So
Yes.
All right,
understand.
we're talking about hearing. What other services can people get at your agency?
Well, along the lines of hearing, but people who are deaf or profoundly hard of hearing can access our interpreting services. We have interpreters that provide American Sign Language services.
Right.
Our customers are physicians, legal system, companies, individuals.
Right. I'm an attorney and I'm very familiar with the need
Yes.
for interpreters in the court setting for many of the clients
Exactly,
that I see.
and that's one of the settings where we provide interpreters, and we have for many, many years. Our interpreting services goes back to the 1970s.
That's a very important role, and
Yes.
we've become more sensitive to that, don't we? Most
Absolutely.
large gatherings, you always see this lovely interpreter standing up, signing to
Well,
the audience.
I have a story for you.
Yes.
I love to sing, and I was actually singing at a funeral for a friend whose grandson is deaf, and there was an interpreter there. And at the reception afterwards, he came up to me and he said, "I loved your song."
Oh,
So he was able to
he could
hear me
hear
sing
it through the signing.
Through the sign, yeah.
Well,
through
which
the
is really
interpreter.
what this is all about, isn't
Yes.
it? Be inclusive, to make sure that you don't miss out on anything, whether it's this beautiful setting by the lake or as you said, the services of hearing and language impairment issues.
Yeah,
all right,
exactly.
what else do you do
Well,
in your spare time?
Yeah, right, exactly. Well, we have case management services. We have our case managers on the adult and children's side that help their clients connect with services that will help improve their lives, get them more socially connected. We also have our community services program. This is an adult day program for adults who come to our center and participate in activities of their choice, whether it be a cooking class or swimming, Special Olympics, drama.
And is that for able-bodied or just disabled, or for everybody? How does it work?
Well, this is really for adults with developmental disabilities, so they might have Down syndrome, autism.
And so the programs help them participate to the fullest.
Absolutely, gain life skills and really be a part of their community. So
that's wonderful. It must be really important to their families as well. And we now have the advantage of an overhead helicopter.
Hi! You never know what you're going to see
here. The
great
Maine outdoors.
Yeah, North Pond.
So the families are also extraordinarily appreciative, I'm sure, because they know how much it means to their loved ones to have a place to go.
Absolutely, and we like to say that we not only provide services to people with disabilities, but we are a resource
for everybody,
for their families and their caregivers as well. And I know you'll hear more about that with Pine Tree Camp, but we like to say our parents really are the recipients of the benefit of Pine Tree Camp, because they're able to get some much needed respite while their loved one is here.
Now, I know as the executive director with the big picture, you're also part of helping to raise the funds to make all of these things happen.
Yes.
I understand you're in the middle of a big campaign.
We are. We're in the process of raising money to really kind of help rebuild Pine Tree Camp.
Okay.
Pine Tree Camp first opened in 1945, and many of our buildings date back, for example, our camper cabins date back to the 1960s.
They're well maintained, but inside you need some updating, don't you?
We need some updating, and we're finding that, you know, our infrastructure is not able to support the numbers of people who come down the camp road.
Well, talk about that again.
How's
that changed?
Our first summer, Pine Tree Camp's first summer, we had 70 children come to Pine Tree Camp.
What year was that?
1945, 1946.
About 70 campers. And today?
And today we can have 600, 650 people come here for the summer season.
Right.
And then we can have as many people come down the camp road during our shoulder season. For retreat opportunities, we also offer some special family weekends. So we really needed to take a look at our infrastructure, our campus and our buildings, to see if we're able to.
That's a real tribute to the services that you're offering. People know to reach out, and that folks can participate fully as opposed to having to sit home or in an institution.
Yes.
They're here in the outdoors.
Yes.
But it takes money, doesn't it?
It takes money.
Well, how does the Pine Tree Society operate? You're the executive director. You've got to pay for those programs. So is it partially fundraising, partially other ways of moving along?
I have said this before, and I'll say it again. I'm very happy that we have a diverse funding stream.
Yes.
So 2 of our programs are reliant on Maine Care funding, but we also receive reimbursements fee for service, like the interpreting program, audiology.
So anyone is eligible. It's not an income based.
No.
But also, it sounds like you don't turn people away because they might not have the funds to be here.
That's right, and there's no better example of that than here at Pine Tree Camp.
So anyone can come.
Anyone can come. You know, with our adult sessions, we do have waiting lists.
Is that right?
Yes, we do. There's a high demand for this kind of recreational therapy.
Have you had adult sessions from the beginning, or was it originally just for children?
It was just for children.
But what happened?
Well, the need increased.
The need increased.
And
those children grew up, didn't they?
The children grew up, and nobody wants to say goodbye to Pine Tree Camp.
No.
So they, and I'm not quite sure when we first started having children come to Pine Tree Camp. It might have been in the 60s, I think. But there is a huge demand. So it used to be that children would come for the summer. But now we have 6-day sessions, and that's not only.
And what about the adults? There's a big waiting list, is there? Or?
For adult camper sessions, yes.
Right.
There's
so
always
if someone
some
is
wings.
interested in camp, they need to let you know, or the camp
Absolutely.
director know.
Yes,
that is.
yeah, absolutely, and we're very happy to put them on a list to receive applications.
And is it your goal, I know you don't do everything overnight, to expand the space for adult campers, day campers?
Well,
are you hoping to do that?
We're
or?
pretty much looking at the same footprint, but we really hope to be able to expand the programs that we offer. So we're able to do programming more into the fall, earlier in the spring.
I see.
That's part of what we're doing here is winterizing our building. So our brand new Harold and Bibi Alphon dining hall is winterized,
that's beautiful.
as is our wellness center. And as we replace our camper cabins, we're going to be looking at making them more year-round as well.
I was going to say, we have such a beautiful place here in Maine. Year-round is right. Not just 2 weeks in the summer, of course, but year-round is a great goal.
I got a letter from a little boy who comes here to Pine Tree Camp, and he said, I think you should open Pine Tree Camp all year round. We might not want to go swimming in the winter, but we can ice skate. So
that's just the kind of vision you're looking for,
that's
isn't
right.
it?
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
So in your dreams, you're expanding opportunities. And are there words of wisdom that you would give to families of adults with disabilities to participate more fully in what you're offering?
Yeah, I mean, don't hesitate to check us out. Check out our website, www.pinetreesociety.org.
Right.
You know, all of our programs and the opportunities those programs offer are there on our website. You know, contact us, call our office. If you want to find out more about Pine Tree Camp, you call, Pine Tree Camp up here in Rome. And we're very happy to have folks come and take a tour of camp or see any of our facilities and what we offer. We really pride ourselves in that we have a staff of hardworking professionals who offer innovative services. We've been doing that since 1936.
It sounds like you haven't been here since 36, but you love your
job.
No,
sometimes I feel like that, but yeah, I do love my job.
So I want to thank you for sharing your passion and being with us, and stay tuned. We'll be right back with a big tour and more activities here at this camp. Thank you so much. Stay tuned.
This is the new Hollywood Casino, featuring the heart-pounding action of live table games with Vegas-style blackjack, roulette, poker, and more. Now playing at the place where the fun never stops. From the thrill seekers to the blockbuster winners, here you've got the lead role, because there's no place like Hollywood.
Spectrum Generations. Live healthy, live well. Get answers, get connected. Spectrum Generations, specializing in the art of aging.
Life should be celebrated. It's a special day when family and friends gather together to celebrate the life of a loved one. A celebration of life helps us honor our loved one and keep our memories alive. Whether you're planning a traditional funeral, a creative celebration of life, or a blend of both, at Knowlton Hewins Roberts, we are truly committed to meet the personal and unique needs of you and your family. Knowlton Hewins Roberts. Visit us online or visit our 2 locations in Augusta and Winthrop.
Welcome back to Mature Lifestyle, and many, many thanks to Spectrum Generations for giving us this glorious Maine Day. And thank you, the director of Pine Tree Camp, for joining us, and Dawn Willard-Robinson. She is the executive director of this glorious camp. How did you get a job like this?
Just lucky, I guess. Actually, I started working here in college.
You did?
I did, yeah, and I worked for several summers while I taught school, and then was lucky enough quite a few years ago to be able to come back as one of the directors.
You're like the campers, you never want to leave,
I never
right?
wanted to leave,
That's
yes.
wonderful,
yeah,
wonderful.
So we're really
They're lucky to have you as well.
you.
Tell us a little bit about what happens here. I've seen, as we walked around, campers going on boats, campers cooking classes? What's going on here?
There's always something going on. We have a variety of different activities, anywhere from boating to swimming to kayaking. We have an arts and crafts program. We have a lovely music and drama program. And we have our own accessible treehouse, the only one in the state. And out of that treehouse program, we run our nature program. So they take nature hikes and they do some tree identification and different activities like that.
How wonderful. Tell me a little more about that treehouse.
Sure. Several years ago, we had a camper who expressed an interest, and she kind of saw a program about, saw an article about a company out of Vermont that does tree houses called Forever Young Tree Houses, and we partnered with them, and we were able to fundraise and build the only accessible tree house in the state of Maine. So it's been a great addition to our camp program. And
because think about it, everybody dreams of a tree house,
course.
no matter how old you are, right?
Yeah.
But to be unable to ever go in a tree house
because
because of a disability.
Or even touch a tree, get up close to a tree. So we try to do as many things outside it as we possibly can, and really where there's a will, there's a way kind of thing, and just make it happen. So.
Right. I know you deal a lot with children, but you also have wonderful programs for adults, and that's what's going on here
do. We actually run 4 different programs throughout the summer for adults, camping sessions for adults. And so they still come and they love to still do all the different activities. A lot of them don't get an opportunity to go out and fish or go out and swim and different things like that. So we try to, offer the same things.
And you have every level of disability.
We do. We have every type of ability level that you can imagine, and it just all comes together. Where it's completely accessible here, so we don't have to worry about any accessibility issues or.
Well, those of us with memories of camping when we were younger, how in the world do you manage cabins, or how are they accessible?
They're ramped. They have accessible bathrooms in them. Just enough space so that you can get around, and so that's really how
wonderful.
It is. It's still a very traditional, rustic type of camping.
So it really is the camping experience for
Definitely.
adults. Tell me about the families of these campers who come here. Are they as happy as the campers?
They are. They are. Sometimes, it takes them a little while to get used to it. It's hard to let any child go to camp, even regardless of their ability level. But it's a real opportunity for families to have respite. They can send their camper here. They feel comfortable. They feel that they're safe. We have a full medical staff that can meet any of their needs. Our counseling staff gets extensive training. A lot of them are going to school to be therapists and special ed teachers, so that's a great place for them to learn and grow as professionals as well. But the families are just thrilled, and the campers come back year after year because they make those true friendships that you can only make at camp.
Of course, of course. And so they love to come back.
Yes.
The first time at camp might be a little frightening, as you said, for the family and the camper. But what do you do to help them through that?
We just stay busy, and we kind of pair them up with other campers that might have had the same experience. The staff are trained in how to deal with homesickness, and it all works. I always say if we can get through that first night, we can get through the whole week.
Now, how many years have you been at this camp?
This is my 18th summer, if you count them all together. If you add everything, I'll combine everything.
And what is your background? I know you're a wonderful camp director.
I have a background in therapeutic recreation, but then I went back to school and got another degree in early childhood special education. So I really worked with families of children birth through 5, helping them get connected to services. So that's kind of the family piece of it is really one of my passions. So.
And how about your counselors? What's their training?
Like I said, we do a full week of training. We do everything from team building to learning about different types of disabilities, learning how to do personal care, and then we train throughout the summer as we go as well, because we switch from adults to children to adults again, so it's kind of a switch in mindset. But like I said, a lot of them are going to school for the different types of
They seem extraordinarily sensitive. I just watched them delicately putting sunscreen on some adults who were most excited about boarding one of the boats.
Yes, they truly become, the camper's friend, their parent, their caregiver. They do everything. So they're just an amazing crew. They really are.
And I understand that more people want to come than you have space for, and you're going to try to create more opportunity over time.
Yeah, actually, there's a bit of a trend in camping in general to do kind of family programming. So it gives families a chance to come and recreate together. It gives them an opportunity to meet other families and connect. So we've been doing some weekends. We did a wonderful autism family weekend a couple weeks ago that was a big success, and we hope to continue to do that. And we actually have a brand new program this year where we have an aphasia weekend.
And could you explain that? I did read about it.
It's for people who have had a stroke and they have stroke-based aphasia, which impacts their ability to communicate, so their expressive language. A lot of times they understand receptively what you're asking them, but they can't communicate as the way that they used to.
That must be
so it's very challenging.
Frustrating.
It's frustrating. It kind of puts up a barrier for them. So this opportunity this weekend is for them to come together and enjoy themselves, for their care providers or communication partners, as we like to call them, to have an opportunity to kind of connect with other folks, and it's hopefully kind of taking down that social isolation, you know, that's created by that lack of.
This is a program that's unique to Pine Tree Camp.
It is, and it's a program that's fairly unique to the whole country.
State?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think they're only
What made you know about doing that?
we have some folks who have been connected with our board, Anne-Marie and Bruce Albiston. Anne-Marie's dad was impacted by stroke-based aphasia himself. And so because of that, they really have a passion for it. And we've connected with New England Rehab and some other programs throughout the state, and we felt like this was a really nice way to kind of bring people together. So we've spent this year really going out there and promoting and talking to new groups. So it's a new population for me, but it's a perfect location for it.
Obviously underserved until someone with that passion brought it to your attention.
Definitely, and so that's happening in July. It's July. It's coming up in a couple weeks.
You touched on something else, like it was also for the caregiver.
Yes.
How do we give back? How do we help the person we're caring for? I'm sure that's true of the parents and the caregivers of your entire camp population.
It most definitely is. It's really important for families and for caregivers to have an opportunity to take care of themselves. And
exactly.
So by having their campers come to camp, that gives that opportunity. By coming to some of these family retreat weekends, that gives that opportunity for them to really.
That's really important. The family retreat weekends are important too.
Yeah, definitely. So it's exciting. It's a new kind of venue for us and an opportunity, and we've actually expanded our season because of some of the development work that we've done here at camp, and as we're improving buildings, we're able to offer more things in the spring and in the fall. So
what are some of the biggest changes you've seen over your 18 years?
Oh, goodness.
The good and the bad.
Mostly
the good.
The good, for sure. I mean, I think, you know, even though we change things and buildings look different, it still has that same camp feel to it. I know that I left and I had been away for 12 years and I came back and I still felt
the same.
It looked the same. It didn't quite look the same, but it felt the same.
The good parts were the same.
Yeah,
to
most
you.
definitely.
It looks like a camp.
It still looks like a
camp that people without disabilities go to, which is your point, isn't it?
Yes, we want to make it, as much of a smooth process for everybody and just an opportunity for everybody.
And it sounds like you're serving more and more people.
We are.
And why do you think that is? They're just learning about it more?
I think sometimes, and I think there's not an awful lot available for adults to come for outdoor recreation opportunities.
People have focused on the children, which is important.
Yeah.
But the adults have the same. The children become adults.
That's
and
right.
Then what happens?
And they still need a place to be able to come, and camp has still been able to provide that for the adult population. And I think that's the biggest piece we do.
Exactly. Yeah. The expansion for the adults as well.
Yes.
Are there stories, not by names of course, are there a few stories that come to mind for you as success stories, people that you've really enjoyed seeing come here and progressing when they went home?
Oh, certainly. There's so many. It's hard to
pick one.
To narrow one down.
If you can.
One of my biggest memories is we have an adult camper who's been coming actually since the early days, and he was here in the late 40s.
And
he continues to come to camp. Of course, he left and had a family and had a career of his own. And he says he gives his wife a break, which is really interesting. And he likes to fish, so he comes out to camp. But one year we had a group in, and we had adaptive hand cycles. And because he had polio as a child, he was never able to ride a bicycle. So to actually see his face and to hear him explain it to his wife over the telephone that evening that he rode a bicycle for the first time ever, and I believe he was 68 that year.
Oh,
that he rode it.
How exciting!
But it was just amazing, and those are the kinds of things that happen all the time. People get an opportunity to try something that they never thought that they possibly could do, and it just
that must give you a lot of reward.
It does. It does. We call them the it moments.
The it moments.
The it moments here.
Think also how it inspires the other campers.
It does.
Here's this guy very excited about his first bicycle ride. Well, maybe I can do that too.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So it's just wonderful. It really is, and there's stories like that happen every day.
So what happens when it rains here?
Oh, we just keep going. It has to rain really hard for us to stop outside things.
Exactly.
But, we have a rainy day plan, and there's always something to do. And with some of the new buildings, we've created some more program space that's inside, so we're able to just move things around and have this crowd likes to play bingo sometimes.
Okay.
So we did that when it was warm yesterday.
You go with whatever happens. If a caregiver sees this program and wants to have a wonderful place for their adult with a disability, what do they do? How do they get in touch with you?
We have a great website that has all of our contact information in it, and that's all there, and all of our applications are online as well. So, or they can just give us a call. But we love to have them.
And they can come and visit.
And they can come and visit, and they can
it
tour
seems
around.
Very open, that you can walk around and see what's happening.
Yeah, and that's a lot of times. Sometimes that's how we help those new families too. That if they're really nervous or appressive, we have them come in and tour around and meet the staff that they're going to be working with, and that helps a lot.
And they probably don't want to go home.
They really, and then they're really anxious to come.
Just looking around, I haven't had a chance to see very much. You have boating, swimming,
kayaking, music and drama, arts,
bicycling, obviously.
Bicycling sometimes. We have an accessible tennis and basketball court.
Really?
And we also have a camping area that's an overnight camping area that I didn't talk about.
And the treehouse.
Yeah, and the treehouse. So yeah, we have about a mile worth of accessible.
Overnight camping.
Overnight camping, yes. We have out there platform tents.
Right.
There's a open fire to cook on, and
you make s'mores.
We make s'mores. They actually cook dinner out there, and they actually cook breakfast for the next morning.
So really, everything that anybody could want
is right here.
Is just right here.
Definitely.
Well, obviously it agrees with you. I've never seen anyone who enjoys their work more. You make me want to spend more time here. And we thank you very, very much.
Well, thank you for coming out.
I hope that you too will come out for a visit. Make sure you contact Pine Tree Camp. Make sure you contact Spectrum Generations if you forget how to get in touch with this wonderful director. Thank you so much for joining us here on the shores of this lake here in Rome, Maine. Thank you. We'll be back for more with Mature Lifestyles.
Spectrum Generations. Live healthy, live well. Get answers, get connected. Spectrum Generations, specializing in the art of aging.
This is the new Hollywood. Hollywood Casino, featuring the heart-pounding action of live table games with Vegas-style blackjack, roulette, poker, and more. Now playing at the place where the fun never stops. From the thrill seekers to the blockbuster winners, here you've got the lead role, because there's no place like Hollywood.
I want to thank Spectrum Generations, we all do, for bringing us this beautiful day on a lake in Rome, Maine. They're telling us that Maine life is for everybody. If you have a disability, there's a camp where you can have a treehouse or whether you can make s'mores. It's a wonderful place to live and to love and to laugh, which is what we're all about here at Spectrum Generations. Thank you for joining us. And if you have a disabled one, a loved one in your life, you should check this camp out. All of us want to come here. You can sense the passion and the enthusiasm of the director. It's a great place to be. Thanks again for joining us on Mature Lifestyle.
Mature Lifestyle is made possible by Hollywood Casino. There's no place like Hollywood. And by Knowlton Hewins Roberts Funeral Homes and Cremation Service. Our homes are warm and welcoming, and we take care of you and your family like we would our own. Call us anytime. We are here for you.
You're watching TWC TV, only on Time Warner Cable.